Bam! And we're live.
Oh yeah, we are.
We're in there. Let me have the iPad. Hey,
Okay.
friends, it's me, Lola.
And this is Dante.
And so we're live. And yeah, we're kind of late.
And we're also out and about in nature.
Right. And I wish we could have sat down, but it just didn't work like that. So we're going to stand up and like talk today. I'm trying to get my bearings on.
I literally just had a bug bite me. That's hilarious.
You did? I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, babe.
It's fun.
Grace and peace, Val Val. I'm so glad you joined. I just saw your message via text when I went over there to look at my messages. So I'm glad you saw the message and you had time to get on here. Is our sound okay? Can y'all hear us all right?
Yes, let us know because we are outside. We want to make sure you guys can. Oh, thank you. Felicia said the scenery is nice. So
All right. Let's. I love parks, and it's a nice part of the year. I wish that Dante and I could get away and go to the mountains.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
But don't think it's going to happen right now. So Felicia actually, hey Gigi, love you. Felicia actually took a trip recently, and I'm super proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she took a trip, and she's been sharing some content on her Facebook page. I don't know why she hasn't started a podcast. I wish she would just do it already. Thank you all for letting us know the sound is good. I see your comments, and I appreciate you answering back. But I'm just so happy for her because I remember when I started leaping out and doing things that were out of my comfort zone, the world just opened up for me. Like so many things just opened up for me. And I was talking to someone last Wednesday, and I was telling them that I used to deal with fear really bad. I was afraid of everything from the time I was like a little kid. Grace and peace, Monica. We love you. Grace and peace, Shamil. I hope you're doing well. But I was talking to them about how I was just really, really afraid. Have I ever told you this?
Yeah, you told me.
Okay, so I didn't know. When you're married, I was thinking the other day too. Okay, I'm gonna go into these two thoughts and then I promise y'all, let me get into it. Like, it's no way possible you can tell your partner everything that you need to tell them, like, because it's just too much stuff. Like, you've had a whole lifetime before them. So I just kind of tell things, one, that I think he needs to know, and then two, like, if something comes up and like a situation reminds me of something, I'll be like, hey, let me tell you about this. But anyways, I used to deal with fear really bad, and what broke me out of fear was me trying things. But that wasn't the starting point. The starting point was God speaking to me and saying, you need to start going places alone. I need for you to just start doing things on your own. You're going to have to. People are not going to always be able to go with you. People are not going to always be willing to go with you, and I need for you to be able to go. And I remember the first thing that I did like alone was went out to a Valentine's Day event by myself. By myself, yo. It was like this musician, and I liked his sound and stuff. And so I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be in Charlotte. I'm gonna go there and see him. Ain't even asking nobody to go with me. I'm gonna just go by myself. I went there, everybody was all coupled up. I know they was probably like, is this girl here trying to take our mate? It's like, no. Like, I just came. And so that was like the first thing I did. Now, that would have been so embarrassing for me before, but I did it. And then from there, like, I went to uh, Detroit. No, not Detroit. I went past Detroit all the way up to where I could see Canada. I was like, man, if I would have had passports for everybody in the car, like, we would have definitely been driving over that bridge and going into Canada. That was like the next thing. And then the next thing, I went to Chicago, and I met Philip M. Watson and Anthony D. Howard there. And I'm smiling because I remember the first time I met them, like, their spirits were just so beautiful. And then Philip, I could actually feel love on him. I remember meeting Tamara McNair Hicks, and like, when I walked up to her, I just felt so much humility. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is why the Lord gives her so much revelation. But then from there, I went back to Chicago, and then I ended up going to Texas, and me and Tron Moses, like, I'm giving y'all a whole history lesson. Me and Tron Moses took a flight to Texas with his sister Tasha Moses, and she got me a book. And it was really nice because the book talked about Amy Semple McPherson, which this woman that used to pray for me was like, let me tell you who Amy Semple McPherson is. I can see you in her and what she did and what you're going to be doing. And man, that was beautiful. And so went out there, and yeah, just met incredible people along the way. But I'm saying all of that to say that When we start stepping out of our boxes, the world opens up because we're not limiting ourselves and we're not limiting God and what He wants to do for us. Y'all know? You get what I'm saying? Monica, I live in Detroit, not far from Canada. I remember driving through Detroit. I did not like driving through Detroit at all. Like, I was like, this is not North Carolina.
Wow.
Okay. Because it was just the traffic when I came through there. It was like around their evening rush hour. Yeah. And it was like stop and go, and people were like slamming on brakes. Like people were like moving over into like the road that's not really the lane. Yeah. And then I think the highway that I was on, it was coming through their downtown area and was not a lot of room. So I just didn't feel comfortable. I was like, we ain't gonna be doing this. This is what we're not gonna do. But anyways, I hope y'all are good. Yep. That's how we met, Gigi. And listen, I can't see everybody's name who's on here because it'll tell me like Facebook user if you haven't given StreamYard permission to share your stuff. But yeah, grace and peace to everybody. Grace and peace, Sarah Mia. I don't know who else came on, but thank y'all for joining. But yeah, just step out, y'all. Just step out. Like the world will open up. When you step out, it'll open up. The Lord will meet you when you step out because He's always trying to do great things for us, right? Yeah. This is not even our talk. But let me just tell y'all, He's always trying to do great things for us, but He has to get us to believe in what He sees. Because if we don't believe it, we'll limit ourselves. We'll be just like the children of Israel when they were coming out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. And their trip was supposed to take them a matter of days. And it ended up taking them 40 years. Yeah. And some of them died and didn't see the promise that God wanted to give them. What was the problem? It was their belief system. It was their belief system. It was all because of what they thought. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So yeah, just if you feel weird about doing stuff, just do it anyways. Just do it anyways. And watch the world just open up for you.
I love that.
Okay, what are we? Are you opening or am I opening?
No, you were opening because you.
No, I'm not. I've already talked enough.
Okay. You gonna say you talked enough?
Yeah, I get tired of talking. You know that. Okay. I've talked enough. Like.
Okay. Well, in that case, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, thank you all for listening so much. By the way, this message is for anyone with a heavy calling or dream. So these are for our big dreamers and our heavy callers. Literally, the goal of this message, the purpose of this message is to tell everyone to wake up and realize that you can't service everyone. Mm-hmm. And I say that in saying that there are 7 billion people in the world. Mm-hmm. It's not possible for you to say, I'm going to serve every one of you. Mm-hmm. It's just not.
Right. And we're not saying that to discourage you and tell you not to think big.
Definitely not.
We're telling you this because it's not logical.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not. It's going to cause you to wear yourself out.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be like you boxing against the wind. It's going to be like you're in a boxing match against the wind. The wind is always going to win. No pun intended. The wind is always going to win because it's so vast, it's so big. So if you're someone with a big dream, someone with a heavy calling, and you're coming out and you're like, this is what I'm doing, but you're not targeting something specific. You're just aiming your arrow in too many places.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And that's why we want to tell you how to find your market and letting you know that that's what you need to do. You can't aim at everyone. You can't shoot that arrow everywhere. You got to find your market, find the people that you're looking for, and aim at them.
Can I say something?
Of course.
So some of you are like, okay, that's not me. I'm not doing that. But let me tell you how you are doing that. This is you posting stuff on your social media page and expecting people to like it. And it's like, those people are not necessarily your market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is you saying, nobody supports me. But it's like, are you actually targeting your market? Or are you just throwing this stuff out in front of your family and your friends? Like, they're not here for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my family and my friends, they don't want what I have. You know, they don't want what I have. Some of them do, but for probably like 2. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they don't want what I have.
Exactly.
So you can't just do that and think that, oh, I'm going to get a bite. I'm going to throw my line out here where I am and I'm going to get somebody to bite it. It may work, but for the most part, it may not. So what you need to do is like start just focusing in and getting more intentional with what you're doing. So that's what this part of the message is about. It's
Exactly.
getting you to focus in and get more intentional so that you don't end up putting your big dream, your big calling out in front of people that don't even care about it.
Yeah.
And then you mad at them because they're not supporting you. First of all, they don't even care about what you got. Like, why would they support you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's nice for them to support you, but they don't care about what you have. You know what I'm saying? So Sandra, excuse me, I said Sandra. I'm thinking about my cousin. Okay, Chandra Whitaker said, "That's right. I know my family and friends definitely aren't my market."
Yes, that's right.
Right. And she also said, "So excited to hear this message." Shalonda Delaney Allen said, "Yeah, yes, right." Felicia said, "I love this talk." But that is the real thing. Like we put ourselves out in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get mad when they don't support us.
Exactly. I like how you just walked away like that. But she's right.
That's not your market.
We're over there trying to look for the approval of people who don't care
They don't care.
at all.
And I better stop because the way I got this tripod bootlegged up here, it's liable to just flip any minute. It's like on a monkey bar type thing that you used to swing on when you were a kid. But seriously, we put ourselves out in front of people that don't need us.
Yes.
And then we get mad when they don't support us or when they don't engage with what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what do you have to do? You have to niche down. Grace and peace, Michelle. You have to niche down. What do we mean when we say niche down? Do you want to answer or no?
Oh, yeah, sure. Niche down means to find a specific market, find a specific group of people that you genuinely have something in common with, something that you love doing, and you can use that to market directly to them, and they love the same thing. So if you have something that's special and something that's unique, that is your niche. That is something that says, I'm trying to think of a good example of one, but let's say you like, you do something with your
Talk
company.
about yourself, for example.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right, babe. That'll work.
Or you don't have to go into details about it. You can move on somewhere else. Just whatever you. I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm just like saying like just whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's good to use ourselves as examples sometimes.
You're right, babe.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So I was actually thinking of, let's say you're somebody who is really conscious about the earth and you want to use something from specifically reusable, recycled materials. Good. And everything you look for when it comes to the products you're looking for, how it's housed, how it's built, is something to make sure that the earth is good. Well, that's a niche. Mm-hmm. That's something that not many companies do, not many businesses do. And if you find that group of people who view the same thing and do it the same way, they're going to tie into you. They're going to invest in you. They're going to
buy into you.
Buy into you. Thank you, babe. They're going to buy into you because you do something that's so specific and so specialized that not many people can do that.
Now, why is this important when we're someone with this big dream, this heavy calling, in a sea of 7 billion other people in a very competitive market, in a really overcrowded market? Because one, there's 7 billion plus people on the planet.
Yep.
Beyond that, the internet is overcrowded.
It is.
Okay. When 2020 happened and everybody was at home, not only did we gain weight, but we got on the internet and stayed there. Okay.
Yes.
We got on the internet and stayed there. So the internet is very overcrowded.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And you have people that ain't got no experience in what they talking about that will go and steal your stuff and then be over here saying that they did it. You hear me?
Yes.
So how is this niche and finding something specific relevant to this huge market that we're in? Ooh, you understand what I'm saying?
I do, baby. That's the big question. I love it.
It's relevant in this way. You have a message and everyone is not going to see it and buy into it if you're talking to everybody at once. Mm-hmm. But if you go and you target a small group, you can get that small group to buy into what you're doing. Then they help become a platform for you.
Not only
so
that.
You're creating a community by niching down on stuff. Do you understand? You're creating a community by being more specific with what you're doing and being more intentional with who you're targeting and being more focused. Okay.
And that small community that you just created are then going to become brand evangelists. They're going to be people who advocate for what you're doing and who you are because they love what you represent. They love what you're doing. And that's how they connect to you.
Okay, so the first part we've gone over so far is you have a big dream. Yeah. You have a heavy call in. Mm-hmm. We get it. You want to put your message out there. You want to spread it all over the world, but you can't start with the whole world. You have to start with a small group because everything is overcrowded.
It is.
And if you try to start with the whole world, you're going to get lost in translation. So what you want to do is be more focused, be more intentional, and be more niche. You want to target a specific group and get in front of that group so that that group can become your platform. That group will lift you up so that it increases your visibility. Ooh. And then they become your brand evangelist.
Yes.
And they go and tell people about you. I told you all, Dante and I did our first business course in, I don't know, 2020 or something.
Yeah.
So first of all, we care about people, and I have a passion that the Lord has put in me that I honestly don't want sometimes, because people are crazy. People are crazy, and because of my strengths, I will carry somebody's burden as my own and care about it and be more committed to it than they are. And then I'd be like, Lord, I want to strike the rock. You told Moses to speak and he hit it a second time. That's what I want to do. And it's like, can't do that. Okay, let me just get back to this. So we care about people.
Yes.
Because we care about people, we give you all things that we feel like is going to be relevant to you in your future. So we taught a business course. Let me tell you something. Having them big hearts, it's a gift, and it's a gift. It is a gift, but it's also like you got to learn how to manage it. I thank God for my heart because it causes me to look at people with compassion. I remember years ago, probably in 2011, I was mad at something. And I was like, Father, I ain't talking to none of these people. These people could kiss my patootie. That's what I said in my head. I was like, I ain't talking to none of these people. I'm minding my business, working, and I saw a story. And the story was so daggone sad that I filled up with compassion, because the Lord is sneaky. And he used that compassion to cause me to take back that word that I'd spoken in my heart. Like, I'm not talking to people. He was like, that compassion you feel for that story you're reading, give that compassion to them. So I'm like, okay, it's okay. But you got to learn how to yield it. It's a gift, but if you don't yield it as a gift, it's also a strength. It will burden you, and it will cause you to become, it's making me think about this proverb that talks about, this is a good proverb. It talks about, look this up, an offended person it compares an offended person to a city with bars up. Like, it compares it to a city with bars up. You can't get to that person. And that's what'll happen for people that have these big hearts. Like, you'll end up barring yourself up in that heart that God is giving you to, you can read that to them. That heart that the Lord is giving you to serve other people and to love other people. And sometimes love them when they can't love themselves. It will become something that cripples you. It's something that damages you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is Proverbs 18 and 19. Proverbs chapter 18.
Grace and peace, Passion. I hope you're well.
It says, this is from the NIV version, a brother wronged is more unwielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel.
Man, let me tell you something. Proverbs changed my life. That's why I sit back and don't say nothing. I be having 1,000 thoughts in my head and tabs open. I'll be like, don't you say nothing. Don't you say nothing. Don't you say nothing. Wisdom. So to watch over your mouth. Okay. Okay, let me keep going. I done got way off, but I was just talking about people with big hearts. So we did this business class, y'all. We did it because we were like, we want to help people.
Yeah.
If so many people are wanting to start businesses, let's tell you how to structure it so that you can be intentional with your plan, so that you can look at some performance indicators without us telling you that that's what we're doing, so that you can gauge what you're doing. And then hopefully one day you can get somebody to invest in it.
Yeah.
If you can work out this plan, you know what I'm saying? So we did that. We taught a business class. The first business class had how many people in it, babe? Two people, y'all.
Two.
And mind you, we did it for free.
Yeah.
We did it for a year for free. I think we taught 3 classes for free, which at minimum, the class we're talking to people for about two to 3 hours, and they can ask us questions like, so y'all, we did this for free.
Yeah.
The first class, I'm getting on you, Brenda G, because you said you popped out that brand evangelist. This is what happened for us in our first class, because we overserve people.
Go ahead, tell them.
We overserve people. Our first class, we did it, 2 people.
Yep.
The next class that we had, one of the people from the first class came back, brought 2 other people. They were from somewhere, London.
UK,
they were
London.
like in the UK. Brought these 2 other people.
Yeah.
And then brought their spouse with them too. Y'all, they became a brand evangelist for us. They brought back 3 more people. So that's what happens when you target a niche market and when you get intentional with serving them and when you overserve them. Y'all, we told you this before. You got to elevate people's experiences. You got to elevate it. You got to elevate it. They'll remember you. They'll come back and they'll tell you thank you. Or you'll see them talking about what you've done for them to other people. Or like me, I'll be on social media and then I'll see someone has shared my content to their page or in their stories. Like, this podcast is blessing me. You know what I'm saying? This is what will happen. You won't have to sit up and put so much energy into like, oh, look at me, look at me. You know, you won't have to do that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because you have to put yourself out there, but you won't have to put so much energy into it. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Nothing, babe. That was good. Not only that, but literally what Lola was talking about just made me think about how you can create your best experiences. Because think about it this way. I know everyone has a bad experience that kind of ruins their day, but think about all of those good experiences that shine out in your mind, that experience that made you say, I'm going to come back to this person, or I'm going to come back to this business only because of this experience. I can have several terrible experiences, but because you gave me this one amazing experience where you went above and beyond, I will be there for you and I will come back.
I got the perfect example. When I was still working for a bank in Charlotte, I worked at a site and we had food delivery services. So they sent us an email every day and tell us what locations were serving us that day and we could order. So I ordered something, got my food, and my food was wrong. Now, this sucked really bad because, one, you ordered something way at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It finally got there at like 1, 2-ish, maybe it was late. And then when you get it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's wrong. And so like, on top of that, it being wrong, and I waited for the food, like this company consistently like messed up my food. So I called them. I was like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know that, I was like, let me speak to your manager. That was the first thing. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I ordered something from there today, and this is what I ordered. This is what is wrong with the order. And I said, really, I said, I don't want anything else. I said, because I don't have time. I said, I ordered through this service and I don't have time to leave work now and come over there to grab food. And the only reason I'm really telling you this is because you all used to be very consistent at getting my food right, but now it's like going the other way. You're consistent at getting it wrong. So I just wanted to tell you that something has changed and it's wrong. The manager was like, I want to remake your food. And I was like, you don't have to. I can't come and get it. He was like, I'm going to bring your food to you. That was the first thing. He was like, I'm going to bring your food to you. And I'm going to give you your money back. Y'all, he came to the job. He had the whole order, you know, not just the part that was messed up. He had the entire order. It was done well. He gave me a gift card for more than what I spent, y'all. And guess what?
What?
He gave me a cookie. I will never forget that experience. I will never forget that experience. And because of that, I was like, man, I banged with them.
Yeah.
You know, I said I banged with them.
All right.
Man, the little...
Yeah,
put your little professional hat back on. Because of that, I was like, I will do business with this company because this company is not perfection, but this company shows me that they can right or wrong.
Exactly.
And that means a lot, right?
Oh, that means a whole lot.
They overdid it.
Exactly.
And because they overdid it, I'm like, man, I'm sold. So you were onto something when you said that there. I just wanted to touch your stomach.
No, I got one more thing to say
okay.
Because of that. But just like that experience that Lola had, that's the type of experience that you need to create for you like the experience you need to create for your niche market. You find the people and you give them that kind of experience, that experience where they will ardently talk about you.
Come
and
on,
say,
ardent.
I know, right?
Come on.
They will ardently talk about you and say, you have no idea just how good of an experience I had with Crystal, or I had with Monica, or I had with Inger. Like, they left me speechless, and I will forever be there and invested in them.
They will be your biggest advocates and brand evangelists.
Exactly.
So what we've gone over so far, this is messages for people with heavy call-ins. This message is for people with big dreams. Instead of you focusing on this big market that you want to reach, and this big pool of people that you want to impact, you need to get more focused. You need to get more intentional and get more specific and focus on a specific market. You need to niche down. It'll be so much easier for you to find your people when you do that.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes we get frustrated when we're working hard and trying to get people to see us, and when we're showing up and when we're really taking time in our craft, we get frustrated because people don't see it. But a lot of times it's because, let me say this, we get frustrated because people don't support it. But a lot of times it's because you put your content, that baby that you're working on, out in front of an audience that does not want it.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is why we're telling you to get specific and target a specific group, and then work to get your stuff out in front of them, because they will help to platform you, give you some visibility, and they become your brand evangelist and bring people back to you. They will help you build the community.
Exactly.
They will help you build your community. I was in my private group, I think last month, and I asked for the group. I said, if this group is helping you, I said, just do me a favor, invite some people. The next day, I think there were like almost, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 20 people that had come into the group. But then eventually it went up to like, I think 50, around 50 people. I can't remember. But that was all on me asking the people that I'm targeting specifically, my niche market. They're engaged. They like what I'm doing. And they're going back and they're doing the work for me, so I don't have to do it on my own. Now, the next thing we want to bring to you, and we're going to have to go because the sun is not our friend right now. I want to tell you that you're doing better than you think. Some of you all are just too hard on yourselves. You're too hard on yourselves. You make a mistake and you beat yourself up. The mistake is part of your discovery process. The mistake is part of you figuring out what to do. The mistake is part of you getting more specific. I think about when I first started the Smoking Profit brand. The Smoking Profit was not a brand. It was just a blog. When I used to come on with my podcast, I would be like, I'm a little creator of the smokingprofit.com. You know what I'm saying? I would do that. Like, it was not a life advice brand. It was none of that, because none of that had been revealed to me yet. Part of it being revealed to me was me working the process. It was me making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It was me putting myself out there as something and then realizing, nah, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a regular blogger. You know, people, when I tell them I'm a blogger, they automatically expect me to be gossiping about stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. I like to help people. I'm more of like an inspirational, educational blogger. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? But it took me getting into the dirt and working that dream and allowing myself to go through failures, to go through mistakes, to go through issues, to learn, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Or I like that, but I don't like this over here. So I want you to realize that, too, you are doing better than you think, and that your mistakes are part of your discovery process. And you need to make them, because they're going to help you to focus more intentionally on whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. Me starting out years ago with the smokingprofit.com, now we've evolved into a life advice brand. And we know what we're doing. We're inspiring and equipping people to positively impact the world with their unique gifting, skills, and callings. That's what we're doing. Everything that we do, our classes trickles down into that. Our podcast trickles down into that. Our group trickles down into that. Our website trickles down into that. If you see me talking to you, I'm trying to put some type of encouragement, inspiration into you to move you into action. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So you're doing better than you think. And then the last thing that I want to give you is, I want to let you hear this message from someone that I listen to. Now, let me just warn y'all, this guy cusses. Okay. So he's going to be cussing, but I don't have a problem with that. I had teachers that cussed in school. I had a teacher that told us to lie when we wrote essays. He did. I'll never remember. He was like, I'm giving you this test. If you don't know what you're doing, he said, you just need to BS. And he didn't say BS. He said, you need to bull your way through that. Is what he said. Okay. So listen, I don't not listen to people because
they curse.
Right. So I'm just, if y'all can't take the cursing, then you're going to have to turn this off. Now, what I'm about to play for you is about how long, babe?
That is a good question. It's about 3 minutes, about 4 minutes.
Okay. So this is going to be about 3-4 minutes. If you can't take the cursing, just turn it off and you come back on. But he probably is going to drop maybe some F-bombs, maybe just one time.
Probably just one something.
I think just one. I think if you listen to the whole podcast episode,
maybe more than that.
Yeah, but this guy, I like him because he's incredibly smart. He projects markets. He started out and, you know, he's gotten so much, like he's acquired so much money. He's gotten so many people, companies to invest in him. He started several businesses and like I found him on a podcast a while ago and he has like 2 new podcasts. And so I listened to them. In this episode that we're going to play to you, this guy from Australia is working in technology, but he's like, we're competing against big businesses, big industries. What do I do? How do I make a stamp when I'm competing against something? It's a bug, and it has like maybe a stinger on it. That's the only reason I got like, but it looks like it's not one that will sting you.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go ahead and play this.
All right.
Let us know if you can hear it.
Who you are? Were we Pledge Brothers?
Oh, you might want to skip. Well, no, I think. Okay.
I'm going to be joining a tech firm.
Okay, go back a little bit.
On me. Worth it. Worth it.
Okay.
Question number 2. Hi, Professor Scott. My name is Nikhil, and I am based in Melbourne, Australia. I will be joining a tech firm called Supermicro very soon over here as a sales manager, and I am up against giant firms like HPE, Dell, and Lenovo who have captured a large chunk of the server market. Knowing our team is very small when compared to theirs, what sort of a sales strategy do you think is effective in going against Goliaths, knowing I am David? Thank you very much. Nikhil, you sound so refined. You sound like someone who's the sort of the ultimate, I don't know, concierge or chief of staff or some billionaire nemesis. Anyways, so the global server market is now worth more than $23 billion. HPE and Dell are tied for leadership in the industry. Together, they account for about a third of the total market revenue. So it's not a concentrated industry. The 2 biggest players account for 31%, whereas the 2 biggest players in digital marketing are 80%, Google and Facebook, or the 2 largest e-commerce companies, just one is 50% of all online revenue.
So what he's talking about right now, he's talking about the market that this guy, do you mind holding this? He's talking about the market that this guy's in. He's like, okay, this is what your market looks like if we break it down.
Amazon, or there are 2 companies, Apple and Google, iOS and Android respectively, that are probably 90% of the global operating systems for handhelds. Anyways, what is the strategy? It's pretty simple. The specific crowds out the general. When you're smaller, you got to go very, very focused.
Did you hear that? He said the specific crowds out the general. When you're smaller, you've got to go very, very focused. What did we tell y'all? What have we been saying?
Find that niche market.
Right. What have we been saying? Okay, let's keep listening.
Very niche, servers for the biotech industry, or servers for a certain type of company, or servers that are more green, whatever it might be. The specific crowds out the general, and you need to basically go to places where you can be so laser focused that for that specific niche or need, you're going to be the superior offering. Because the big guys, quite frankly, don't look at small markets. They look at niches as sort of like, is that worth our time?
Boom. Did y'all hear that? When we target bigger markets, we are going against giants in the industry that have the money, the manpower, they have the trust, the brand loyalty. They have all of this already. So we cannot go after their market. Well, let me take that back. So you have to find a more strategic way to get in there before you try to take out their market.
Yes.
Because you can go after their market. So what he's saying here, Professor Scott Galloway, is telling you, you got to go specific, go niche. Because one, these big companies are not even looking at the smaller markets like you are. And then two, it takes them longer to start, it takes them longer to shift directions because they have to go through so many systems of checks and balances.
Exactly.
So that's the benefit of us being, hey, I got this dream. I'm out here working it by myself or with a few people. Like, you got the benefit of flexibility.
Exactly.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's play. Sorry.
In order to move the needle, if we're 15% of a $23 billion market, we're a $5 billion market. We don't go after $10 million niches. So you got to go very niche and very specific. I don't see any other way to compete in any industry against large companies. But guess what? The great thing about large companies is they're large. They become very bureaucratic. They become very slow. They have a lot of advantages. But small companies have advantages too. And I generally find that a lot of companies like to deal with small players. You can be better at relationship management, better at customer services. I started Red Envelope going up against big players in e-commerce. I started Profit Brand Strategy going up against very big consulting firms. And I started L2 going up against very big analytics companies. And now I'm starting Section 4 going up against huge multi-billion-dollar organizations called universities. And in every instance, if you find a niche and you can do a better job through focus, intense focus, and quite frankly, just out fucking hustling them, you can carve that niche. And then what you want to do with a small company, what is your objective with a small company, is to find a half a dozen, 2 dozen clients that will be your evangelist, to overserve them, even if it means late nights and losing some money initially. You need to create a core of evangelists who say, I'm going to this company, I'm going to take you with me, or I'm going to give you the email, refer you to a buddy of mine at this company. That is what it's all about. Your product strategy, all.
And I'll do this. I'll drop a link to that podcast over in our group.
Yeah.
And we'll drop a link to the group if you're not already in there for you to join so that you can hear that. But y'all just heard it there. Because sometimes you need to hear it from somebody that's like doing it on a totally different level. Like, I love listening to this guy. Like, love listening to him. I was listening to him when he was still like a professor at, I think, NYU. But anyways, yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else.
No, I think that's it. But the biggest takeaways I got from that is, for one thing, find your market, niche down, specialize, and get you some brand evangelists. Some brand evangelists that are going to be able to tell other people how good a job you do. Overserve, overperform, give them experiences that no one will ever forget. That way, no matter what, they'll always have good things to say about you.
Yeah, that's a really good close, babe. And you're doing better than you think, okay? Your mistakes are part of your discovery process. If you just keep going, like, it's going to work out. You're going to get refined with every mistake. I wrote in my, I do my planner a little bit differently than other people. And I think we're going to do like a pre-recorded class on vision boards.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you about this, but I cut out pieces kind of like a scrapbook and put it in my planner. And as I'm going throughout my year, I'll have words in there that I've done like months in advance. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, bam, that's so amazing. And so I had a word that said all trial, no error that I put in there. All trial, no error. All trial, no error. And I carried that word with me all last year because I was like, I'm going out here in the sea. I'm doing some new things, trying some new stuff. And it's going to be all trial because it's going to be a lot of new stuff, but there will be no error because even in the mistakes, they're going to help me.
Yeah.
Because those mistakes are what? Part of your discovery process. Okay. I love y'all. We're out. I'm Lola with The Smoking Prophet.
And I'm Dante.
The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. We do that through a blog and also through a podcast. The blog is smokingprofit.com. The podcast is The Smoking Prophet Podcast. We have over
100 plus episodes.
So go find, follow, and subscribe to us today. And do us another favor. If you feel like this message can bless someone that you know, then just tag them on it. Share it.
Yes.
Val, thanks for coming on. Gigi, GI Music, thanks for coming on. Nichelle Fitch and Gigi, I said your name so people would know when I'm saying Gigi, they don't just think that I'm talking to somebody that's not there. GI Music is Gigi. Okay. Shalonda Delaney Allen, thanks for coming. Crystal Hogan, thanks for coming. I pray for you often. Monica Denise McDowell, bless you. Inger Lanier Taylor, bless you. Brenda G was on here, bless you. Passion, bless you. Sarah Mia, if you're still on, bless you. Everyone else that came on, bless you. Diane Wilkerson Cunningham, bless you. Chandra Whitaker, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. Bless y'all, and Shamil, bless you. We're going to go ahead and get off of here. Have the most amazing day. Until next time. Love y'all. Bye.